Hello friends, today I want to share how to replace the fabric underneath this massage air deluxe chair. I can't remember the exact name, so I will put that in the title. Anyway, I've got several videos on this chair because I bought it and it wasn't working, so you can check those out. I will try and link those in the video at the top corner or at the end of the video, so watch for those. I also have it on my blog, thesecretisgratitude.com, and you can search in the box at the bottom of the homepage for this. Just type in massage chair and up will come the posts about how to repair the transformer, and I have 2 or 3 videos on it. Anyway, the fabric underneath the massage, the top fabric, it's kind of not really stretchy, but it's silky, but it started ripping, and I tried to repair it with similar type fabric, but it kept ripping through the fabric, and then the fabric and the string got caught in the the big windy mechanical screw I'll show you at the end. So what it started to do is chew up the bottom of the chair right there, and you can see where it started to eat the fabric of the chair. It would get caught under the rollers, like this, in the chair, and then it would rise up and it was getting caught. And so I knew I needed to fix it before it totally ruined the chair. It kind of did bend it a little bit. It's kind of squeaky, but I want to show you how I did that. So you take the back off. It's just screws. It's 6 screws, and it's very simple to take off. The screws are right here and down here, so you can see there's screws. The fabric I showed you, it's kind of a thick, silky fabric. So, and it was very gathered at the top and gathered at the bottom in the center. So, and it was stapled to the sides. And I was going to pull the staples out, and then I realized it's sewn into the side fabric right here on the inside. And so I couldn't cut it out without having a problem with this. I mean, rip it out. So I ended up just cutting, as you can see. I just took scissors and cut along the top and the sides. And then I had to take this portion off. So to get the back off, you also have to pull this away from this to get the back off. So this goes like this. So I just pulled that off. That's apart, unscrewed it, took the back off. This goes through a hole in the side, right there. So you have to pull that out because it will pinch the air. That's your air for your massage. And then unzip this. And then there's a clip here that's easy to pop off. It's just a clip here, and then it pops off. Okay? So, like that. There's no release for it to come forward. You just pull it, kind of, it pops forward. Okay, the rollers are here. To get underneath to be able to staple gun it in, I had to turn the machine on. So I hit on, and then I pushed this button, which makes it go, you can pick which side you want, and then I put it down to waist. And then as soon as the roller here came all the way down to the bottom there, I'll show you on the back why I had to do that. If you don't move the roller down there, you can't get in here to staple. So I had to move that all the way down to the bottom, and then I unplugged the machine, because if you don't, it will go back to start, which is here. This is the start position. So I unplugged it, took it all the way to the bottom. Took it all the way to the bottom, and then I unplugged it so that the machine part stayed down there. And then I took the fabric, folded it in half. I bought a similar stretchy fabric. This one's kind of a stretchy fabric, so that the rollers could go up and down and in and out, but not that it's going to get caught in the wheel. So you have to make it tight enough that you can staple it up on here underneath. So you have to pull it up. And I don't think you can see it. Let me get the flashlight out. See if you can see it with the flashlight. So I had to pull the fabric up underneath there, and with this down I was able to get the staple gun in there at that point and staple it. So, Also, while you have the back off, you're going to want to grease it. So if I forget to talk about that, you're going to want to grease this pole right here. You're going to get grease, not WD-40, but actual grease, and grease that. I greased that a couple different times already as I use it, because I use it every day. Okay, so I'll show you how to get that underneath there. So this part lifts up. You can see where I cut the brown fabric off. I was afraid if I cut up in there, I would cut this on. I didn't want to cut that. So I shoved my hand up underneath, all the way up underneath, until it came out. I did have to take out staples right here. You can see right in there, I had to take staples off. So I took the staples off there, pulled that fabric down, and how I did that is I folded the fabric in half, and right where it was in half, I pulled that down here. And then you have to gather it and then staple it. So I lifted this up, this is down at the bottom, and I started stapling the fabric folded over itself. So I'd kind of make a pleat, staple it, kind of make another pleat, staple it, so that it was loose enough in the middle that when these moved, it didn't snap and pull out the staples. So now I just wanted to make sure it was working clearly and well, and oil it and grease it before I staple this back down. So now I need to staple this back down now that I know that it works. So I'm going to show you that it works. So once you have that top center done, you staple all the way as far as you can here, all the way as far as you can here. But then it becomes a problem because right in here, you cannot get, in there, you cannot get it to the edge to staple it. So I just had to push the fabric as far in as I could for that length there, but I did pull the rest around and staple it in there. So it's stapled there, it's just pushed in here. You can kind of see where it's pushed in. And then down right about here, it goes in the inside. You can see where I had to kind of pull it around. And then I started stapling it, and I folded it over when I stapled it so that it was a couple thicknesses thick so that it wasn't going to rip. And then I stapled it this way and that way because I couldn't get it straight underneath here, so that if the fabric pulled, that it wouldn't rip the fabric. But it's a stretchy fabric. I've just been looking for a stretchy fabric that would work. Okay, so that part is done. I showed you how to do the sides. So let me turn it on and run it. I've got it on auto. So it does work, and I run it through a 15-minute cycle, and it doesn't rip, it hasn't pulled, it hasn't gummed up, it hasn't caught, and that's very happy because it's been ripped and repaired 3 times now, and I haven't been able to enjoy using it because every time it gets to this point at the bottom, I have to pull the back out and hold it out while it goes and moves up a little bit and then release it. So it's been kind of frustrating, but you can hear it kind of has a rattle right there, and I'm going to show you where that rattle is. So I'm going to turn it off, but you can see clearly it's moving and it's working. So what I noticed was that this, it's kind of dark, where's my flashlight? This part right inside there is loose, and this part, when this is down at the bottom, rattles back and forth, and it was kind of loose. So you can see I chipped the paint, I hammered it back down. There's a rubber gasket in there, and I just hammered it back down so that it wasn't moving and hitting on metal, and that seems to have helped it a little bit. But also when the fabric string got caught, it kind of gummed up and bent this a little bit right here, so it kind of goes over a squeaky hump right there. So that's why I keep oiling it and making sure that it's oiled well. So when I got to the bottom, I'll move the controller. When I got to the bottom, I pulled the fabric through and then stapled it at the bottom, and I haven't cut it off yet. I'm going to cut it flush, but I just kind of stuck it through the hole right here to pull it out so that it wasn't hitting and keeping it from latching. You can see there's a latch right here where it latches. So I need to cut this, but I wanted to make sure it was working up here first before I cut that off. So what I did was I went around And make sure when you're cutting off that brown that you don't cut the strap, because I almost did. So make sure that you, when you're cutting that fabric off, you don't cut the strap. So then I pulled it down around, lifted it up, and then stapled it flush. I don't know if you can see that very well, but so I just lifted it and then I folded it over itself and stapled it right there so that it's through a couple thicknesses of fabric. So now I need to, now that I know that it's working clearly, I can cut that fabric off, and so that it doesn't get stuck in the latch. And so to put the back on, you latch it right there, put the clasp on, and then zip it. It's very easy. Zip it back on. And then I'm going to have to staple this back down, but once that's down, you just put the back on, slip this through the hole in the back, attach it to the back of that, but you can make sure, I've done this before where I forgot to do that, you have to put it through the hole in the back of the seat. Put it through the back of the hole, screw in the 6 screws. The back fits on really easily, and then you can just use it. But once again, I want to show you, use grease, axle grease, or this is garage door grease. I just take the garage door grease and I stick it on here, and then I run it up and down a couple times just to make sure that it's fully greased. And I've done that. I've had the chair for a couple years now, and I just put that grease on every year or so if it starts to squeak or something. So that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I have those other videos, and they're on YouTube on my channel, The Secret is Gratitude, and on the how-to videos most likely, and then on my blog, thesecretisgratitude.com. Type in massage chair. If you need to contact the company and get a transformer or a new computer the remote, sometimes it's the mother chip on the remote. The guys there are super helpful. They're aware that I have this video on YouTube, and they are aware that people have, all of a sudden, they told me when I contacted them after I put the video up, they said, "We're not sure why everybody's contacting us." They ran out of transformers and had to order them from China, and it was before COVID, and so then during COVID they couldn't get any more, so it's been a mess for them. But they said thank you for putting that on there, because a lot of people have been able to fix their machines. So check those videos out. If you have any more questions, feel free to ask or contact the company. They're super helpful, and I'll try and remember to put the number in the contact information or the description below. If you like this, thumbs up and subscribe and hit notifications if you're willing to do that, since I could use the likes. Appreciate your help, and I hope you have a blessed day. Thanks for watching.